Hey everyone, welcome back to GL Spinners. Today I've got another new Spinner Day video for you. We are taking a look at the Triton V2 from VC EDC. So this is the evolution of their Triton line. They've had some earlier versions. I have a couple of. I've got the full-sized version 1.2 and then also the mini. This spinner, however, though, is going to return to their standard size with this newest version. As always, I like to show you guys what these come in. This one actually is shipped in a nice branded tin. It's got VC EDC's name and logo on it. It's also got the spinner name and then a huge sticker on the side showing the version of the metal that you purchased. Mine's obviously the stainless steel, but now they actually offer it in a black coated version as well. The foam inside this one was pretty thin, but as always, a tin's going to keep it safer than just a plastic bag during shipping, so I'm always happy to see that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the spinner itself. The first thing you're going to notice on this one is it is a larger spinner. Many of the ones I've shown recently have been trending towards the smaller size, but this one's definitely got some heft to it. It's going to weigh in at 110 grams, which converts to about 3.9 ounces. And then from end to end on it, it's going to measure in at about 2 1/8 inch. So let's look at the design on this one. This is the version 2, and they're continuing to improve on this Triton line. You can see the edges have a lot of machining work done to them, and this is an improvement over the older models. All the edges have a nice chamfer on them, and really everything's rounded nicely, no hot spots or rough areas to speak of on it. And you can just see a lot of work went into the edges on it. So that's going to move us on to how it feels in hand. The spin on this is smooth and pretty well balanced, no wobble on this version. You can see that nice polished flat really shines as it spins along that outer edge. So one item to point out on this though, and it has been consistent on all the Tritons due to the design, the groove for your finger is pretty shallow. There is an area there, but it's not as deep as on a lot of other tri-spinners. So keep that in mind when considering this one. Also, with its larger size, it might not be the most fidgetable for people with smaller hands. My hands are pretty large and I can spin it pretty much however I like, but that's not going to be the case for everyone. But again, in hand, because of those edges, it does feel nice. So moving on to the buttons, they are the style that I prefer, but I'm not a fan of these. They're recessed with that raised edge, but in this case I feel they could have been much larger to give you a greater area of surface for grip. The design on this spinner really allows for it as well due to the extra space around the center, and that's just something that's missed out. They are also very thick, but I understand that. They have to be this thick to give it more clearance so that due to the width of the arms. If they were any thinner, you wouldn't be able to perform table spins on it, and that would be a big drawback. One thing with the buttons, they have released a larger size. They're available on their website, but they're only sold separately and they cost an extra $25. The buttons are threaded and house a stainless steel R188 bearing. And then on the other side here, you can actually see the threaded bearing lock. Again, great for easy removal and maintenance. But another difference in this design is the lock is not threaded into the frame like on many other spinners. It's more of a capsule that sandwiches the frame. So if you release the lock on the top, this part's also going to come out as well. This has been the case on all the Tritons so far, but on this version, one difference is they actually include an extra hybrid ceramic bearing and a plastic capsule. It's going to work the same way, but this makes for a lot of different combinations of bearings and capsules. To be honest, because this isn't a full review, I haven't had the time to test all of them yet, so I can't tell you if there's really a big difference depending on which way you go. But I mean, it is something that I'll do in the future, so I'll let you know the results as it comes along. So with this spinner, one of the biggest things and biggest hype when it first came out is the spin time. So much so that they even had to add a disclaimer on their website. And it pretty much says that while some reviews boast a 16-minute plus review, that it's not guaranteed. And they added that because out of the box, you're not going to get 16-minute spins on this. I took mine out like I do before every video, and as it was configured out of the box, I got between 6 and 7 minute spins. It's a respectable time, but not anything like what you've seen. With the different bearings and housings, I don't doubt that you can definitely reach between probably 8 and 10 minutes, but just don't buy into the hype of the 16-minute spin on this one. Unless you really do some incredible cleaning on it, I don't think you're gonna get that time. So as always, I like to show you guys these spinners next to some others that I own just to give you a different size comparison. On the left here is the Triton version 1.2. You can see the size and shape is very similar. But again, on this button, they even included on this spinner, they even included larger buttons. And I mean, I wish they had went back to that. Here on the right, I've also got the mini Triton, which it's really not that much smaller in diameter. But again, I swapped out the buttons on this because it actually came with buttons very similar to the ones on the version 2. So what this really allows you to see though is not only the size, but also the difference in the evolution of the Triton series. So you can see just the difference in the amount of machining on these edges. They definitely did a lot more work on the version 2. So this spinner, the version 2, sells for $60. I'll have a link down below to where you can purchase it on VC EDC's store. But let me know what you think about it. Did you purchase one? Did yours reach anywhere near that 16-minute spin time? As always, if you've got any questions, put them down below in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If you like the video, please be sure and give me a thumbs up, as it always helps. And if you want to see more spinner reviews and content, be sure and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.